Hi, my name is David Watson and I'm the founder and CEO of RentVision. Today, we're going to talk about seasonality with your demand. But the real reason we're talking about this is we want to empower you to control your vacancy. And in order to control your vacancy, you need three things. One, you need to predict your future vacancy. We talked about that in a previous video called How to Predict Your Future Vacancy. I'd encourage you to watch it. Once you can predict your future vacancy, the next thing is you need to know, is that vacancy going to become a problem? And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. And once you know whether it's a problem, you need to be prepared to fix it. And I'll share some suggestions with you at the end of this video on how to do that. So how do you know if your future vacancy is going to be a problem? Well, when I talk to lots of apartment communities, they want to be 95% occupied. You've probably heard me talk about that in the past. But 95% occupancy is really not the right target to shoot for. Let me give you two scenarios. First, let's say you're at 93%. So you're below your target. How do you feel if it's Thanksgiving week and you're at 93%? Now, how do you feel if it's early May and you're 93%? Feels a lot better in early May than it does Thanksgiving week. Because for most apartment communities, there's more demand in May than there is around Thanksgiving time. And that's what we want to talk about today, is what should you target for your individual apartment community? Now, what's amazing is when we actually study individual apartment communities, all the apartment communities in a single metro area, they don't share the same demand curve. Their seasonality is very unique. One property near the university can peak in July. Another one, maybe in the suburbs away from any universities, peaks more in April and May. So how do you figure out the unique seasonality of your properties? The secret lies in web data. Hopefully you have Google Analytics loaded on your site. This free tool tracks all of the web data at your apartment community. We're going to show you how to look at your seasonality quickly. We do this in a more sophisticated manner for our clients at RentVision, but this will help you get an overview. Open up Google Analytics, click on Channels, and then click on All Traffic, and you'll see your traffic displayed. Next, you want to click Organic Traffic. Certain things like paid traffic can actually throw off your seasonality curve. From here, adjust your time frame and look at 365 days worth of data, or maybe even just a calendar year to keep it simple. I like to look at this with a month time increment as well, so you can more easily see the seasonality pattern. Now, once you've done this, you'll see a line that shows your entire web data. What I've done is I've taken a random apartment community and I've actually mapped this data out here. Now, I do want to warn you, RentVision takes a few extra steps for our clients here that you need to be careful of. If you see a great spike in traffic, you might have a bot or spam visits. Or if you see traffic spike at the end of the month or beginning of the month, it might be residents paying their rent. So there are a few extra steps, but still you're going to get a very good idea without using the RentVision tools if you just look at this. So I've taken this data and plotted it out for a random apartment community. And here's their traffic in January. Here's their traffic in February. Now, over here, I've plotted out the percentage of the total traffic for the calendar year. If we take 100% of the traffic and we divide it by 12 months, we should average 8.33% of our traffic in any given month. So we can start in January and we actually have 9.33% of our traffic for this community. What does that mean? It means we're going to have more demand in January than the average month. So, but we can also move and we can come down here to September and the traffic demand drops to only 6.93%. And it gets even worse in November at 6.14%. So what does all this mean? Well, if you're going to have less demand, you're going to rent fewer apartments. And so you actually need to target a higher occupancy. So in November, instead of targeting 95%, we actually might want to be targeting 97%. Conversely, here in May, we're going to have 10% of our total traffic. Instead of targeting 95%, we should probably be targeting 93% because we're going to have more demand to fill those units. So what do you do to proactively prepare yourself for this? The key is in your lease renewals and in the leases that you sign. You need to control those expiration dates so more leases expire before the time period that you're going to have more demand, and fewer leases expire when you're not going to have as much demand. So you want more leases expiring around May or even just before May, and you want a lot fewer leases expiring in November or even just before November because you're not going to have the demand to fill those units. There's other things that you can do with this data. All of a sudden we can see our future occupancy in November, and if we're below that target, maybe it's close to 97%, we can increase your digital ads and drive more traffic. Or you can add specials or reduce your rents. All kinds of applications can occur here. If you want to experience this in an automated way that's done precisely to the day, talk to RentVision. We'd love to talk to you about our predictive analytics. We provide you a future occupancy and a future occupancy target that takes into account your community's unique seasonality pattern. And these numbers are updated every single day so you can take action to control your vacancy.